fitting. I'm at about 8 inches, so I need to get this run down just a little bit more. See where we're at here. So anyway, I got my 7 3/8 or 3 3/8 over here, 3 3/4, and then I got my 7 3/8 over here on this side. This is the direction that will bolt in, and that's the direction that end will bolt in. Okay, I got the tie rod hooked in right here in that hole. I haven't got it shoved up in there and tightened up yet. And then I've got to get this one placed. You want to make sure that your rubber cups on the tie rod are situated. So anyway, we're like really close where we need to be. And I'm going to go ahead and shove those up in there. Get the nuts on and get... And I'm going to go ahead and put the ratchet on here. Make sure you're tightening it in the right direction. And just crank on it. Get it tightened. Make sure you're turning it in the right direction. Righty-tighty, lefty-loosey. And once you get it down there, you should be able to ratchet it. Alright, you'll see the cup start to compress when you get it tightened, and then you'll want to tighten this tight as all heck, because what happens is that taper on that tie rod gets pulled up into the shaft, and then once you get it tight, and you get the cotter pin hole lined up on the nut, you can push that cotter pin through, and then you can give it a quick bend. I usually like to, just bend the one tab to the back, the longer tab, and then squeeze that up there tight onto the nut. Okay, just don't. There we go. Just like that. Got that on there and run it up as far as I can. Bit more. You definitely need to make sure that that nut is cranked in there so that you can get that cotter pin up through there. Just get it up in there. Make sure that's tight so that it doesn't flop around on them tie rods. And I mean tight. Next thing you're going to want to do, take your long level. I have the radiator here. That's probably my longest, straightest edge, and put a level on it, and you'll see that bubble right there. We got that bubble centered, and now we're good to go. Let's go to the next step. 2 nuts on the control arm. One's forward, right here, and one's aft, not the shock, but that one right there. You can see it from up top underneath of the hood, but you're not going to be able to get to it. So get that on the nut and then pull. Breaker bar like this, heavy duty, makes life so much easier. Okay, we seem to be loose on the front one, or the back one. I'm getting loose too. So much easier with a breaker bar. You try to use a 1/2-inch ratchet, you're gonna have to put a pipe on it. I have one of these things. You need to go to Harbor Freight and get you one, because they're really, get back up, it wasn't quite in line. That's perfect, if it'll just stay there as I tighten that up. Still in good shape there. Still in good shape there. We're all snug. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this beast of a brake bar and I'm going to crank on tightening that nut. Front and rear. Okay, so I did come back up here, check, make sure my bubble's centered on this level. I'm centered on the level on the rotor. Okay, I've anchored my line to a strut. It's actually broken on the back of the pickup, but I got that, and now I'm wrapping the string around the back of the rear tire. Okay, so you see how that is coming around the back. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to move that to the, I'm going to make it tight, and I'm going to move it in. Now as I pull that string tight and move it close to the front tire, you'll see that I'm hitting the tire here in the back, but that I've got quite a bit of a gap right here. So what I need to do is adjust the tire and straighten it up, and I'll do that by turning the coupler on the tie rod end. Okay, up underneath and inside of the tire, this is where the tie rod is. You can see it hooks to the rotor. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to loosen these 2 nuts on that coupler, and then I'm going to turn it to push the front of the tire out and pull the back of the tire in. Okay, so anyway, I'm going to take the string again and put it there. I'm about halfway to where I need to be. It's hitting the rear of the tire, but I still got a little bit of room up on the front. So I'm going to go ahead and turn that tie rod out a little bit more, and then we'll check it again. Okay, now that I got another turn on it, looks real good. I'm pulling from the back, and as I'm getting ready to touch the back of the tire, I'm touching the back of the tire and the front of the tire at the same time with the string. So close. Now we're going to do a measure, and we're going to see how close we are on a measuring tape from each front and back side of the tire.